Treasures of Djoser, a Sakkara chronicle. A low-angle reveal drifts from the crown to the feet of the golden sarcophagus. The camera continues downward, tracing engravings with reverent precision. A tilted close-up lingers on the facial carving and serene inlaid eyes. The lens tilts to the crossed hands, honoring their fine embossed detail. The composition settles. Gold, linen, gemstones held in hushed reverence. A tight framing captures gold reflections breathing across the face. The camera tilts, revealing filigree lines etched with patient mastery. A gentle zoom tightens, isolating the eyes and inner engravings. The tilt reaches the chin, where reflections gather and fade. The frame eases back, contextualizing face and surrounding troves. A wide pass reveals wooden and stone cabinets casting long shadows. The camera pans along the row, revealing linen forms within. A tilt reveals cabinet carvings, then settles on a wrapped torso. Closed details of stone cabinetry show chisel marks and time-worn edges. The pan completes with a composed view of multiple cabinets in depth. An overhead leaning view unveils carved jewelry boxes on stone. A slow move glides over lids, mapping decorative carvings. The camera tilts and zooms, isolating hinge engravings in gold. Interior carvings and gemstone arrays emerge as lids part slightly. The composition rests on the clustered boxes, poised and luminous. A macro setup reveals gold necklaces and rings resting in order. The view rotates slowly, revealing 3D reflections on curved links. A side angle isolates engraved patterns on a signet band. The rotation completes, catching gemstone facets in gentle fire. A composed macro tableau settles between top-down and side views. Over the shoulder, the archaeologist prepares to brush the gilded surface. Fine tools and linen textures come into precise, careful focus. Gentle strokes lift centuries of dust from the golden glyphs. Treasures glimmer nearby as the work proceeds with restraint. A final careful pass ensures the glyphs read clean and legible. A sweeping aerial reveals Sakkara's pyramids fading into warm haze. The camera banks to trace ancient avenues and scattered tombs. Desert textures and weathered masonry fill the frame with history. A final glide frames the step pyramid against the fading Sunday. The lid is drawn aside, revealing linen and glints of gold. Carved glyphs and bandages alternate in crisp, reverent detail. Jewels and amulets shimmer against the calm linen field. A final pass lingers on the serene profile within the case. Microscopic grooves and gemstone facets emerge under soft light. Patterned filigree winds around inset stones with regal precision. Engravings deepen as the camera edges into shadow and glint. A final reveal crowns the gemstone with crisp, reflective planes. A broad survey links the desert monuments with curated finds. Lines of stone and sand converge toward the ancient heart. Artifacts gleam as the landscape breathes in warm, quiet light. The camera concludes with an encompassing, scholarly tableau. A side profile reveals embossed hieroglyphics shimmering across the gold surface. The camera begins a slow tilt, tracking the hieroglyphic band toward the crown. Hieroglyphic ridges rise under grazing light, revealing delicate embossment. The lens drifts forward as the zoom tightens on the hieroglyphic medallion. A final lingering view holds the side profile as dust drifts through the rays. The crossed golden hands emerge in close detail beneath soft pastel light. A gentle pan traces along the wrists, revealing engraved bands and glyphs. Light grazes the fingertips, outlining precise contours and tool marks. Reflections ripple over the hands as nearby artifacts glimmer softly. The view settles on the central crossing, honoring balance and symmetry. An ornate lid rises, revealing gemstones shimmering within. The camera tilts, tracking intricate carvings along the lid and sides. A slow zoom sinks into the velvet-lined interior crowded with jewels. Reflections cascade across facets, sending colored glints onto the gold trim. The lid settles, holding on the engraved clasp as light slowly fades. A low vantage reveals towering cabinets casting layered natural shadows. The pan drifts along the row, revealing linen textures behind the glass. A tilt lifts to a stone niche where a gilded mask rests by the mummy's head. Details of wooden grain and stone relief pass in slow procession. The corridor breathes with light as the pan concludes on a central display. Velvet cushions cradle gemstone rings under delicate pastel light. A slow rotation reveals 3D edges and engraved patterns along each band. Colored glints move across facets, scattering over the velvet surface. The frame shifts to side angle, tracing the ring profile and prongs. A final overhead settles on 2 rings, balanced and luminous on velvet. Over the shoulder, the brush glides across golden hieroglyphs. Fine tools and linen catch the glow as particles drift. The glyph line emerges, brighter where dust is lifted. A measured pass along the cartouche keeps detail intact. Satisfied, the conservator inspects the cleaned surface. A warm haze settles over Sakkara as the sun descends. The drone arcs, revealing layered tombs and pathways. Ruins catch firelight hues as the sun kisses the horizon. Above the desert, evening color settles into quiet. The lid rests aside as treasures and linen emerge in light. A careful pan traces the bandages and gilded amulets. Gems sparkle along the interior, facets alive with color. A final tilt settles on the serene, preserved visage. Gold fills the frame as a pattern resolves into grooves. Ridges glimmer, shadows settle inside tiny channels. A facet interrupts the metal with a cool, glassy spark. Turning slightly, the engraving reads as living relief. A measured pan assembles a catalogue of Sakkara riches. Cases glide past, amulets, rings, and carved boxes. Labels, textures, and carvings read with museum clarity. The pan resolves on the sarcophagus, anchor of the room. A slow pass reveals embossed hieroglyphs shimmering along the sarcophagus flank. The camera tilts to trace vertical lines, revealing layered embossments in depth. Gleaming details shimmer as the lens glides, revealing minute tool marks and edges. A concluding pass frames the carvings with nearby treasures softly shimmering. A stone cabinet emerges from shadow, linen textures faintly revealed within. The lens narrows on linen folds, revealing weave and age-worn frays. A careful pan reveals the amulets resting beside the linen-wrapped form. The cabinet's recess closes in, holding the mummy in quiet solemnity. An ornate box opens to reveal a gold necklace set with deep emeralds. The lens glides inward, tracing engravings along the necklace clasp. A steady tilt reveals the box carvings, then settles on the emerald array. Engravings and emerald facets glitter subtly in the calm museum light. From above, the sarcophagus top reveals lines of hieroglyphic artistry. The frame drifts across registers, exposing tool marks and patina shifts. A careful zoom reveals ornamental borders and crisp relief on the lid. The top view settles, presenting the glyph field and nearby treasures in balance. A velvet-lined display reveals gold bracelets with fine gemstone insets. As the frame rotates, engravings reveal depth and precise craftsmanship. A measured push isolates a single bracelet, detailing prongs and wear. The rotation concludes, presenting the collection in serene clarity. A side corridor reveals multiple mummy cabinets aligned in solemn order. The camera glides along the cabinets, emphasizing linen textures and depth. Close angles linger on gold artifacts placed between the cabinets. A gentle pan reveals multiple mummies resting in adjacent compartments. The corridor's perspective culminates in a calm, reverent tableau. From over the shoulder, the archaeologist prepares to brush the glyphs. Fine strokes lift dust from the embossed symbols and edges. Tools rest neatly on linen as the brush advances along the cartouche. A pause reveals the cleaned hieroglyphs gleaming against matte gold. With measured care, the brush completes the final edge. An ornate jewelry box opens to reveal a curated trove within. A gentle tilt emphasizes engraved hinges and inlaid borders. Zooming in, the array's gemstones spark with subtle inner color. The camera glides to the carved front, showcasing floral reliefs. A composed tableau frames the open trove in gentle museum light. A full frontal view unveils the sarcophagus in balanced symmetry. A slow push-in reveals the engraved bands crossing the torso. The camera drifts laterally, reading the glyph panels from left to right. Fine relief near the base catches a precise line of highlight. The frontal portrait settles into a serene, reverent equilibrium. A sweeping vista opens over Sakkara at pastel sunset. The glide reveals weathered ruins and pathways etched in sand. A tilt down frames the desert floor in subtle, raked textures. The horizon breathes in soft color as the pyramid anchors the scene. The sweep concludes on a tranquil tableau of sand and stone. A linen-wrapped hand emerges from the darkness, revealed by soft pastel light. Fine fibers and ancient knots form a delicate pattern across the fingers. The camera glides to the wrist, tracing the layered bandage overlaps. A faint golden glimmer near the palm hints at treasures beside the mummy. An elegant pullback frames the hand within its quiet resting place. Gold amulets rest on folded linen within a shadowed cabinet niche. A gentle tilt reveals engraved symbols across a crescent-shaped pendant. The camera drifts to an amulet with inlaid stones set in a braided border. A measured pullback shows the curated arrangement of sacred pieces. A final lingering view isolates one amulet, honoring its craftsmanship. From an angled view, embossed hieroglyphs rise from the gold surface. The camera slides to reveal deeper cuts between symbols and ridges. A brief tilt frames a junction where symbols meet a decorative border. An elegant pullback connects relief details to the larger golden plane. A final detail concentrates on a single symbol etched with precision. Gemstones ignite with soft glints across engraved gold settings. The camera rotates slowly, revealing facets blooming into color. A narrow tilt exposes filigree tracery winding beneath the stones. A soft pullback frames the ensemble of jewels in balanced harmony. One final sparkle rides a prong, then fades into the velvet dusk. Rows of mummy cabinets recede, their surfaces breathing quiet shadows. The frame settles on a cabinet with a visible linen-wrapped figure. A careful tilt explores the stone cabinet's carved edges and joints. The camera glides to wooden doors with slender metal fittings. A final wide view binds the corridor of cabinets into one serene tableau. Over the shoulder, the archaeologist brushes delicate dust from a gold amulet. The brush tip traces a ridge while particles rise in the pale light. He pauses to compare the cleaned amulet with nearby reference markings. A gentle air bulb lifts residue while the brush guides the remaining grains. He sets the amulet near gemstones, documenting the clean surface details. A jewelry box opens, revealing gold engravings that catch the pastel light. The lens glides closer to trace the carved borders and filigree. A gentle tilt reveals gemstones nested within silk-lined compartments. The camera lingers on an inscription etched along the inner rim. From above, carvings march across the sarcophagus in measured rows. The lens drifts to a cartouche panel bordered by geometric bands. Close to the crown motif, the embossing lifts sharply from the gold field. A final pass glides over end bands toward the sarcophagus edge. A curated array of Sakkara treasures lies beneath pastel beams. The camera pans to reveal jewelry cases and labeled specimen trays. Depth layers build as artifacts align along the stone corridor. A concluding frame lingers on the sarcophagus flanked by gleaming cases. A linen-wrapped head rests in soft beams, textures richly defined. The lens glides to the temple, revealing cross-banded threads. A faint gilded charm rests against the cheek wrapping. The frame settles on the brow, where the fabric's weave becomes sculptural. Velvet cloth sprawls with scattered jewelry, softly glowing under pastel light. The camera glides closer, revealing engravings and delicate metalwork on the pieces. A slow tilt reveals gemstone facets, sparkling, as the light shifts across the velvet. Focus tightens on a motif of hieroglyphic-style patterns etched into a bracelet's rim. The composition widens to a curated spread, metals shimmering amid soft mist and rays. From the side, embossed hieroglyphics rise in relief along the gold surface. A careful pan traces the glyphs, revealing layered borders and engraved patterns. The tilt upward reveals a partial glimpse of linen-wrapped form beyond the edge. A slow zoom isolates a single raised glyph, its contours bright against soft shadow. The composition returns to the side profile, glyphs marching across the gilded plane. Within the cabinet, several linen-wrapped figures rest in soft, angled light. The camera tilts down to show the texture of linen and the glint of nearby amulets. A gentle push in frames two figures side by side, emphasizing preserved forms. An extreme close view isolates a hand shape beneath the linen, contours softly defined. The frame widens slightly to reveal multiple figures arranged with artifacts between. An ornate gold necklace rests in an open box, facets catching pale light. The camera tilts to reveal engraved patterns along the pendant's bezel. A measured zoom traces the chain links, each link polished and slightly worn. Returning wider, the entire necklace sits centered as the box edges frame it. A final detail highlights gemstone color transitioning through delicate reflections. The frame opens on a gold sarcophagus beside stacked treasure boxes. A slow pan reveals carvings on the boxes and gilded borders catching light. The movement settles on the sarcophagus, hieroglyphs rising in crisp relief. A gentle tilt exposes gemstones within an open box and their reflective facets. The shot concludes with a balanced tableau of sarcophagus and curated boxes. Over the shoulder, the archaeologist lifts a gold amulet near the cabinet. He angles the piece beneath the rays, inspecting tiny hieroglyphs. Tools are readied as the surface is checked for residue and wear. He peers through the loop, tracing engraved motifs with precision. Satisfied, he lowers the amulet beside the cabinet's linen relics. A gold ring rests on velvet, its engravings catching soft pastel light. The camera rotates slowly, revealing layered patterns and patina. Minute nicks and age lines become visible along the inner band. As it turns, engraved vines interlace in crisp relief. The rotation settles, reflections resting in gentle shadow. A sweeping vista unveils pyramids and tombs across the Sakkara sands. The drone banks gently, tracing the pyramid's weathered tiers. Distant tombs emerge as the camera widens toward the horizon. The dunes glow softly as twilight deepens over the plateau. Night approaches, leaving a tranquil afterglow above the ruins. The open sarcophagus reveals linen, gold, and gemstone glints. The camera draws closer to the bandages and gilded fittings. Close angles expose tiny carvings and aged patina along the rim. Gemstones shimmer in a box beside the dais, echoing the gold glow. A final slow pan ties the mummy, carvings, and treasures together. A linen-wrapped hand rests on the chest, a golden ring catching light. The lens tilts to trace the ring's engravings against the linen weave. A measured push reveals faint patina in the etched recesses. Bandaged threads and metal edges stand in crisp, quiet relief. The image rests, honoring the artifact's age and quiet dignity. An ornate jewelry box opens to reveal layered gemstone necklaces. The camera tilts to trace gold engravings along the box's rim. Necklaces shimmer as the lens glides across their gemstone facets. A slow pan reveals the array of necklaces arranged by size and style. Engravings and clasps fill the frame, emphasizing ultra-real textures. From an angled side view, hieroglyphs rise in embossed relief. The camera pans slowly, mapping lines of carved symbols. A gentle zoom reveals micro-engraving and age-worn edges. Shadows contour the embossments, giving depth and weight. A final pass aligns the registers into balanced composition. A low angle reveals linen-wrapped figures within stone cabinets. The pan follows gold amulets placed near folded arms. Tilt up to the cabinet crown molding and chiseled stone edges. A closer view shows linen weave and careful placement of amulets. Depth emerges as the cabinets recede into a quiet corridor. An extreme macro reveals carved motifs on a gold bracelet. A slow rotational change reveals new facets of the carving. Fine borders and tiny cartouches sharpen into focus. Texture and patina convey age and exquisite workmanship. A final macro pass frames the central emblem in balanced light. A wide view assembles sarcophagi and treasures in one tableau. The camera pans to reveal jewelry cases sparkling under rays. A slow tilt up aligns gilded panels with towering cabinet frames. Depth and order define the gallery's measured arrangement. A closing sweep balances gold, stone, and glass in harmony. Over the shoulder, the archaeologist reveals a gold amulet beneath fine dust. Close tools frame the delicate surface as dust lifts from ancient lines. A gentle tilt reveals linen fibers and the amulet's sharp relief. The amulet emerges, motifs legible as light skims across gold. With the tool set aligned, the find rests ready for cataloging. Velvet trays reveal rings, necklaces, and bracelets under pastel light. A slow rotate reveals facets and engraved lines in shimmering relief. Necklace links catch the light as shadows sculpt their curvature. Bracelet engravings reveal depth where the light glides over gold. Rings align for catalog, each stone gleaming with quiet precision. A frontal view reveals layered carvings across the gilded surface. A gentle pan reveals the symmetry of the central glyph panels. Fine edges glint as the camera inches toward the carved profile. Hieroglyphs stack in bands, each mark preserved with clarity. At the plinth, carved borders and gemstone inlays complete the frame. A wide pan introduces rows of wooden and stone cabinets. The lens settles on a cabinet where linen folds show fine age. A gentle tilt reveals wooden joinery and carved framing. Gold accents gleam beside the hushed contours of linen forms. The gallery breathes, rows receding into calm archival light. A sweeping vista unites necropolis silhouettes with curated treasures. The camera glides, revealing layered textures across gold and stone. A gentle tilt meets the desert haze and solemn horizon line. Gold facets answer the sky as the view eases toward closure. The necropolis rests in light as the collection fades from view.